Good morning. Let's see how far south we go. Beautiful morning. Beautiful readings. A big fallen branch here for a while. Have you ever ignored invitations? I'm just going to try and fix the angle of the camera. It makes me distracted to see that it's a little off angle. I think that should be better. And it worked relatively well. It's not 100%, but that's my finger there. Let's see if that'll do it. I think that's a little better. I hope you get outdoors as well, wherever you are, if that's possible. Get out for your walks. Somebody told me recently that they're doing a sunrise stroll near their home. In the southern part of the world, the spring is starting. As we begin winter here. So what's the story with your invitations? Have you turned down any invitations or ignored them? Or made excuses? Can't go to that wedding. That's the thing about invitations. Sometimes maybe people expect things from people that they're not ready to do. And God has that experience as well. He sends out invitations and people don't answer. They have their own agendas. We have our own agendas. But it's worth pondering. God is not insistent with his invitations in the sense of he's not pushy. He's not chasing us, even though there is that famous poem, The Hound of Heaven. It must be over a century now. And it's a great account of the sense of the soul that God is coming after me. He wants me. And I don't want to be grasped by God. So I keep running. But God doesn't hound us that way, like a hound after a rabbit or a hare. In Ireland there are lots of hound racing events. I was never at one, but it's a hobby or a passion for some people. But God does accompany us, and He is wooing us. In the prophet Jeremiah, he used a very strong image, metaphor, that God is seducing us, and He let Himself be seduced. Everything in life is because there's a creator of everything, so everything speaks of the creator, and the unique position we human beings have in creation, being free persons. Everything speaks to us of the creator, gifted, endowed with reason, with understanding, with intelligence. We're able to decipher signals from our Creator calling to our soul. And then in the course of the revelation that we see recorded and transmitted in the scriptures, we see how that invitation becomes very explicit, and the understanding grows that there's really nothing in this earth, no mountain, no lake, no sky, no star, that's enough for our hearts. And there we have the first step. It's not good for man to be alone. But even there is no human being that can fill our hearts. As much as two kids in love think that they have entered paradise, they will discover that they cannot expect another human being to be their total happiness. A wonderful companion, yes. A great counterpart. A great, in the best sense of the word, sparring partner. A great support. A great friend. That's a beautiful word then. A spouse. But even there, the healthy couple knows the need to look outside themselves. And they don't exhaust in themselves the fullness of their calling. In that sense, our second reading ties in very beautifully our first reading ties in very beautifully this morning about the deference toward each other. We're in chapter 12 of the Romans. So we left the 3 chapters behind us now of dealing with the relationship between the Jewish Christians, the Jewish disciples of Jesus, the Jewish people, and especially the people, the Jewish population that did not accept Jesus, and the Gentiles, and the Gentiles who follow Jesus. And I put in a link here a couple of days ago as we started these texts to Nostra Aetate, and I think I took it out this morning, but you can find it yesterday if you want to see an articulation of that relationship. It's very well treated, and that has been much more nuanced in the last 60 years, but that's a foundational document for understanding the relationship between Jews and Christians. Also, you'll notice there a link. It's called for all commentaries, and it includes a link now to the daily homilies that are accessible without if it's not possible to follow the mass in the evenings, because the homilies usually comment the same readings from another angle. Some people like to see that. But still, as much as the other human being cannot be the total fulfillment of my heart, and it's not fair to put that pressure on them and that expectation from them, it's really a passageway, it's really a step, it's really an entry point into that fullness of divine intimacy. And we can see it very beautifully penciled today in this opening part of chapter 12. One says that we are all one line, and we are individually parts of one another. So that means we're not indifferent. One of the good sides of all the media communication, sometimes it's overdose about all the problems in the world, is that it allows us to resonate with the sufferings of others. Now, it would be wonderful also if we could see the joys of all the others, but we're also limited, so we can see so much. And with our attention span, we need to keep peace in our soul and a balance. We can resonate with the sufferings of people in another continent, in another country, in another town, but maybe there's a little baby crying for attention in the kitchen, or in their bedroom, or a spouse that's in a difficult mood today that needs attention, special attention, or an aging parent that needs a phone call, or a neighbor just across the backyard. Maybe I didn't talk to them for a long time, and it's time, So this text is very beautifully, we're all individually parts of one another. We have different gifts according to each one's gift. Let us exercise them. That's a beautiful line. Let us exercise the gifts we have. You don't have enough to succeed in your life without other people. You need their help, and they also need your help. Let's exercise the gifts we have received to bring a blessing on others. Let's exercise them. Yeah, we're going for exercise, Do a little workout here. Let's do a human relations workout. Starting inside the family, with the closest relatives, the neighbors, and some charitable organization, some outreach to people in need. Let's exercise the gifts. If prophecy, if ministry, if one is a teacher in teaching. I love some of the little notes that are added here by Paul, little commentaries. If one is a teacher in teaching, if one contributes in generosity, to exercise the gifts in generosity, not grudgingly. If one does acts of mercy with cheerfulness, not grumpily. And there are beautiful lists of acts of works of mercy, right? Acts of mercy, corporal works of mercy, spiritual works of mercy. To do it cheerfully. Let love be sincere. Love one another with mutual affection. Obviously, we need deeds, as love is primarily deeds. But that can also be served with beautiful affection. That smile, that caress, that kind word, that warmth of heart. rejoice in hope, contribute to the needs of the holy ones, exercise hospitality. I was pondering that this morning. That's our concrete mission in Magdala and the Holy Land, all the sites, welcoming pilgrims, serving them hungry, thirsty, desirous of a spiritual moment, exercising hospitality. Bless those who persecute you. So not everybody applauds us, and some people might even persecute us. To bless them, and even to repeat this: bless and do not curse them. Maybe nowadays we have some major conflicts in the world, and people who might even consider that they're following God's call to intimacy with Him are capable of cursing and rejoicing over evil done to others. And check out how you react when somebody is reported as dead, especially in the conflict areas, and what you wish for leaders of the conflict areas. What do you wish for them? Are you praying for them, for their conversion? Like that wonderful moment of the little girl in France who was aware of a man who was being executed for a triple murder. And it was known that he was very hardened of heart. But as he went up the gallows, and she prayed very much for him, and as he went up the gallows, he gave a triple sign of conversion, of asking for forgiveness, of entrusting himself to God's mercy. How do we ponder all the news items about all the casualties of the wars? We're all part of each other. We're all connected. It's a while since we've been down this far, isn't it? I wonder how many minutes we've done already. It's probably time. That sounds like a purple heron. Hey, this tree really dried up, huh? I don't remember seeing it like that. Of course, it's going into winter. The leaves have fallen, so hopefully it's still alive. There's a little sliver of the moon up there. I don't know if you can see it, right in the center of the screen now. I'm not going to try and change the zoom because the camera might dance around on me there. I love trees. That famous poem of that lad from New Jersey who died in World War I. But only God can make a tree. Joyce Kilmer. Poems are made by fools like me, but only God can make a tree. A little bit too self-deprecating maybe, but beautiful thought, but only God can make a tree. So we have a lot to do there about the invitation to God's celebrations, and we can start answering that through our treatment of others, our dealing with others. We start entering into that personal communion. Hey, we're at our cave. We didn't see this for a long time. You remember there used to be books here? And there used to be a guy who used to sleep here in behind here. So people, I think we'll say goodbye with that. Have another nice tree here in the background for the selfie moment. See you later, alligators. God bless you. At the latest in heaven.